right. Greetings. This is Coach Winston Cooper, your leadership consultant, success coach, empowering you to develop all the leadership potential in you so that you may maximize that potential to move into greatness. Because everyone that God has created is called to be great. As a matter of fact, everyone God has created is called to lead in some capacity. You are made in God's image and likeness. So those who are looking at the recap, I want to encourage you to share this teaching. We're going live, and some of you are going to look at the recap. So you want to share this teaching to your team, share it to your organization. As a matter of fact, book us. So hold on 1 second. I'm going to share my live as well. I'm going to share it to my other social media platforms. And see, let me see if I can share it to some platforms. All right. This is going to be very powerful. Do feel free to sow the $12 seed, $12.12 seed. Feel free to sow that today. All right. This teaching is going to be very explosive. Okay. So sow that seed today. So let's see. Actually, I'm going to put it on another platform too that I forgot to put it on. Okay. All right. You see all platforms. Okay. All right. So it's posted now. Definitely share it. Share it live. Share this live on your social media platform. You have Facebook, Instagram, something like that. Share the link because we're going into a deeper teaching today. Again, those who are getting on, I am Coach Winston Cooper, your leadership consultant and transformational coach. So as you begin to take on these principles that we've been sharing through these sessions, we're on session 5 now, free sessions where you're empowering those who feel like they're called to master life. We're empowering them with transformative principles. And we're coming from this book here, Leadership, Success Secrets of Great Leaders. And so that's the book we're coming from. And so if you want to get that book, order that book, feel free to do it on orkm.org, orkm.org. Go to the bookstore, get your copy, okay? Get your copy. This book is going to bless you. It's going to empower you. It's going to be a contribution to your development as a leader. And we're on chapter 2 now. We're going through chapter 2. So definitely feel free to reach out to me. There's some information right there. There's an email that you want to screenshot. And my website is on there, and that orkm.org website is on there. And if you want to donate that $12.12 seed, feel free to donate it via Cash App or Zelle. Now, we believe, Mother God Ministry believes, My Success Journey organization believes in biblical principles. We believe that we apply biblical principles to our life, we will succeed. So in Galatians chapter 6, verse 6, it says in the Amplified version, I like the Amplified translation because the Amplified translation amplifies it. And it says here, Paul writes to the church of Galatia, he says, the one who is taught the word of God is to share all good things with his teacher, contributing to his spiritual and material support. So never feel afraid to donate and sow seeds to someone that's instructing you. I might not be your spiritual father, but I might be one of those 10,000 instructors that you have along this Christian journey or this journey of leadership development. So when you apply the law of appreciation by sowing that seed, you are affecting and impacting your life in a special way. And so I want to encourage you to sow that seed. Feel free to sow it. Now, I'm going to ask a couple of questions because time is of the essence. And this is the first question that I want to ask you as a leader, as we step into chapter 2, casting vision, and every great leader has great vision. I want to ask you this question here. How would the maximized potential version of you act in this season of your life? How would the maximized potential version of you act in this season of your life? I want you to get a pen and paper. I want you to answer that question. Those who are just getting on, I'm encouraging those to sow the $12.12 seed. Sow that today. Amen. It's going to be a blessing. And because you're going to see your vision sharpened and refined. Now, this question is important. How would the maximized potential version of you act in this season of your life? If you can maximize all the potential that you have in you, if you can display it and express it how powerful would you be? Now, the second question I want to ask you is what would you be like if you could put on that version of you as you take action on your vision or dream? If you can put on that maximized potential version of you, what would that look like? How would you look? What would you wear? Where would you go? Who would you influence? If you was fully performing, 100% performance and maximizing that potential, how would that look if you can put that on and actualize your dream and vision? Now, here's the third question, because of time. What would that version of you do as a daily routine to enhance progress and manifestation in the manifestation of your vision? So think about that. If you was maximizing your potential, what would that version look like with a daily routine? Would you make excuses, or would you hit all of your goals, your daily goals? Would you fulfill all the things that you promised yourself? Now, we tell you before, in integrity, it's quite easy to fulfill promises for others, but can you fulfill promises that you made to yourself? This is the most important key and foundation of integrity, is keeping your word to yourself, because that shows an authentic self, that displays that you are authentic with yourself, keeping your promises as well as keeping promises with others. So the fourth question I want to ask you is, how aggressive would you be in your purpose if you showed up as a version of you, as that version of you, that version that maximizes potential? Those who are getting on, we're asking this question. If you maximized all your potential in this very moment, how would that version look to you? How aggressive would you be in accomplishing your vision and accomplishing that assignment that you are called to fulfill? Would you be aggressive, or would you just be pessimistic, or would you be just passive with the vision? Now, the fifth question I want to ask you is what makes a prophetic leader? What makes a prophetic leader? That's the fifth question I would like to ask you. After you have maximized potential, and you have imagined that, you have visualized that, you operating in maximized potential, you putting on that maximized potential version of you, what does prophetic leadership look like to you? Because every great leader is successful because they have a prophetic sense about them. There's a prophetic mentality that they have taken on, and there's a prophetic essence in every great leader. They're able to pierce through what they see in the present to what they see in the future. They bring the future into their present reality. And so that's the question I want to ask you. Now, in my book, chapter 2, I want to ask this question: why do leaders need to communicate their vision? And in my book, I shared this: vision is what keeps and retains a people from living life aimlessly. That's the first concept. There are too many people in the earth living life aimlessly. So they're in need of a vision. They are in need of a leader that has a vision that can transform their life. So your vision keeps people, it restrains people from walking around aimlessly. I think the proverbial writer Solomon says this in Proverbs 29, verse 18. He says, without a vision, the people perish. So when there is no vision, the people perish. But if there are no people, the vision perish. So vision and people must dance together. Now, also in my book, I said, God has put so much potential and inspiration in people that as a wise investor, he doesn't want nothing he has invested in to be wasted. That's why he has orchestrated and assigned leaders to awaken and lead humanity towards a vision that will unlock their dreams and unlock his dreams and divine purposes in the earth realm. Now, this is important because you are made in God's image and likeness. Every human being, every individual that you see in the earth today has a purpose that is designed by God from heaven for them to fulfill. And if they do not have or have not embraced the gift of leadership, they will not have a vision to manifest that purpose. And so God always assigns leaders to people that he has in mind for them to fulfill a purpose. And so this is very key. Every person that has purpose needs a leader to awaken that purpose, to awaken that vision. And so this is the vital key for vision. And so you must know, leaders, that you are very important to a society. You are very important to a family. You are very important to a tribe. You have to learn how to translate and communicate that vision to them so that their purpose may be fulfilled, and God will not waste his investment, because God has invested in people who are still breathing today. If they are still existing, that is a sign that God wants them to fulfill purpose. And so why do we see so many leaders who are in the position but don't have vision? They need clarity on their vision. And so if you are joining this group, if you are joining this session today, the question is, have you refined your vision to the point that you are able to communicate it to the people that you are assigned to? Because until you communicate that vision, until you share that purpose for inspiration and perspiration, those people who have purpose by God would never be able to fulfill it. So that's the key for vision. Now, I'm going to share 5 facts about vision for you. Now, if I can share these 5 facts about vision to you, hopefully that you will be inspired, you'll be awakened to fulfill that vision. Now, I want to encourage those, share this today, share this teaching today. This session is going to be very important, very vital. I know it's right in the middle of lunchtime for some, but you want to share this live because there's going to be some keys that you need to hear that's going to expand your bottom line, that's going to enhance your organization to move into greatness. And so here's the first fact about vision. Vision is future focus. It is future focus. It is not past focus. It is not present focus. It is future focus. Of course, in your present, you fulfill your mission, but your mission should always be leading you to the accomplishment or the outcome, which is the vision. And so it is always future focus. What do you see for your future? What do you see for the future concerning the future of your organization, concerning the future of your church? What do you see concerning the future of the people that you're influencing? It's seeing beyond this present realm. That's why it takes a certain prophetic hunch to see beyond this present realm, to see what can happen, to see what can be fulfilled in the present day. And so if you do not have the ability to pierce beyond the present to see what can manifest in the future, then you need to have a leadership perspective. Your leadership perspective needs to be sharpened, rather. And here's the second thing about the second fact about vision. Vision creates self-discipline. When you truly have a vision as a leader, you are self-disciplined. You will be consistent to see that vision come to pass. You will see that vision come to pass because your discipline will always override your emotion. Sometimes your emotions will tell you that you're not going to see the vision come to pass. Sometimes your emotion will tell you you're not going to see the fulfillment of that vision. But you have to begin to create self-discipline if you really have a vision by God. Because when you create self-discipline for yourself, you're going to see that discipline take you to the manifestation of that vision. Every great leader knows they cannot manifest vision without self-discipline. Of course, there are many people that run around irresponsibly with the call or with the mission and the vision that God has given them, but not the great leader. The great leader is self-discipline. He or she has a sense of responsibility to see that vision come to pass, whether it is raining, whether it is bad circumstances, whether it is a horrific situation that they have encountered. They're going to continue to move on with self-discipline because they know that if they're self-disciplined, the vision will surely come to pass. Now, there are things that you need to do for self-discipline. You need to learn how to control your emotions. You need a sense of emotional intelligence. I do have another session on that. We're going to deal with that later on. Okay, mastering emotional intelligence. Because until you master emotional intelligence, until you master it and master your emotions, rather, you will not be able to move forward and towards the vision. You'll not be able to see it accomplished. Okay, so the third thing you must know: vision is not the mission. Vision is not the mission. Of course, many people think that vision is the mission, but it is not the mission. The mission is the function. It is the modus operandi. It is the operation. It is the ability to act on certain principles, certain plans to see the vision accomplished. The vision is the outcome of the mission. It is not the mission itself. Why is this important? Because many people, they focus on the mission, but they're never seeing the vision fulfilled. Why? Because mission is always management oriented. vision is leadership orientation. In other words, leaders act on a certain, they act on a certain hunch that causes the mission to transform into seeing the fulfillment of the vision. And so if you are just mission focused, mission centered, you can be living like, you can be going around in circles. You can be following the hamster philosophy, moving, but not seeing momentum, not seeing expansion, not seeing manifestation. So you have to understand that there's a distinction between vision and mission. Every successful great leader, they know that they do not follow just the mission, but they make sure that the mission is aligned to proper actions so that the vision can be fulfilled. The fourth fact about vision, vision is a result of godly inspiration. That's why it is prophetic. It is the result of godly inspiration. Until God gives vision to an individual, that person will not become great. They will not leave a powerful legacy that is very positive, that leads people towards Christ, towards the gospel, towards a God-centered purpose. And instead of doing that, they'll lead them to something that is more selfish-oriented. And so it has to be godly inspired, because once it's godly inspired, you have the help of angels and the help of people. When you are godly inspired with the vision, you are not going to quit. You're not going to burn out, or should I say burn down. It has to be godly inspired. Now, the fifth fact about the vision that you need to know, here's the fifth fact. Vision is always generational. It is always generational. You must be generational focused. In other words, you must have successors. Every great leader has a successor. If you don't have a successor, then you are failing as a leader. You must have a successor. Okay? That's why it is generational focus, because once you leave, the vision has to continue to move forward. If your vision is accomplished while you're still living, then that is a sign that your vision is too small. Great leaders always think generational. Their vision goes beyond their life. If you love the Bible, and you can see this in 2 Timothy, where Paul is writing to his son Timothy. He says, listen, the things that I taught you, commit this to faithful men. So notice Paul is thinking third generationally. He says that you are the second generation. You're coming after me. I've given you the tools. I've given you, Timothy, the resources. So be successful, but then commit that to the next generation. And so if you have a God-given vision, it is always going to be generational. It is always going to be a legacy that you leave in the earth that impacts the next generation. And so this is the thing about vision. Can you see beyond your life? Can you see beyond your temporal lifespan? Are you able to impact the next generation? Is your organization equipped for what's going to take place with the next generation? There are many people that are great leaders now, but they're only living for their season. They're not living generationally. So when they get off the scene, they have no successors who can come behind them and grow the organization, impact the organization, cause the organization to evolve. So if you have a strong vision, you're always thinking generationally. And so I've seen great leaders, they left an impact in their generation, but they're getting old and nobody's able to take the mantle. Nobody's able to take the baton behind them, because why? It was not a generation. It was not a vision that was generational. It was only a vision that was temporal. And whenever a vision is temporal, that questions the fact, did God empower that vision? Because every great leader has successors behind them, and those successors does greater things than the leader that had cast the vision. So I want to share this with you. There's important things I'm sharing from my book. Those who are just getting on, we're going through a success sequence of great leaders. We're unlocking chapter 2, because chapter 2 is a very important chapter. It deals with vision. Every great leader has a great vision. And so you must have vision for your organization. Those who are just going on, we shared that there's a distinction between the mission and the vision. You might have a mission for your organization, but you must be about the vision of the organization if you're going to be a great leader. So I shared this. Leaders are the embodiment of the vision. The leader that is over the organization, that is over the community, that is over the church, they must be the embodiment of their vision. So they have to live out their vision like their vision has already came to pass. They must live it out in their consciousness. They must be the embodiment of it. People must see the vision fulfilled within the leader, even though it's not transferred into reality. I'm saying it again. People that look up to the leader, the students of the leader, must see the vision fulfilled in the leader, even though the vision has not been transferred in the reality. In other words, they must see a firm belief, a firm faith in the leader that the vision that he has casted or she has casted is going to surely come to pass. And so if you're not the embodiment of your vision, if your attitude is not aligned to the vision that you have cast to your organization, that you have cast to your business, that you have cast to your church, then your students, your followers are not going to truly believe that vision can certainly come to pass. I said this in my book, since being a leader is equivalent to a visionary, watch this, a great leader has to live out that which they see in their mind. So right within your subconscious mind, you have to already know that the vision is already fulfilled. Even though you don't see it consciously, subconsciously as a leader, you got to live it, be bold about it, enjoy it, be excited, be enthusiastic, like the vision has already been fulfilled. And when you think about a mega organization, a mega church, a mega business, you have to live it. It has to be shown within your passion. It is always shown within the passion of a leader how they think or how they consider their vision. Now, watch what I said. When anyone takes on this title leader, look at this. When anyone takes on this title leader and doesn't have a vision, they are only daydreaming. They are in reality not showing up as a leader. So when you call yourself a leader, but you don't have a vision where it's inspiring you to communicate that vision to your organization, you're only daydreaming. Every great leader has the attitude that their vision is powerful enough to be communicated to someone. If you are not communicating your vision to someone, you are not showing up as a leader. Leaders are communicators of visions that can happen. What motivates, what mobilizes organizations, what mobilizes students, what mobilizes followers is the inspiration that is communicated by the leader concerning the vision that he wants or she wants to see fulfilled. So if you're a leader, you have to be willing to communicate that vision. George Barna says this: you cannot be a true leader unless you are capable of charting a desired destination for your followers. So notice that concept. Unless you are capable of charting a desired destination for your followers, you are not a leader, according to George Barna perspective. So that vision has to display a charted course. It has to display a pattern for people to follow. If you love the Bible, you notice that one of the greatest leaders in the Old Testament was Moses, or in the Hebrew text, Moshe. And notice that when he was in the wilderness, God took him up to the mountain, Mount Sinai, and he says to Moshe, here, I'm giving you a tabernacle. I'm giving you something that the people can't see, but I want you to build it according to the pattern which I've given you. That is a charted course. So Moses received a divine strategy. He received a vision from God and came down from the mountain and communicated that vision, and the people saw the vision even though it was not manifested yet. Guess what happened? It mobilized them to create a great work. Notice what happened. Moses was away. They created a golden calf. They created something that caused them to do an idol act. But when Moses received a pattern from God, they did according to that pattern and saw fulfillment of it. They was connected. And so you have to have a charted course. You have to see, what is the charted course? What is the charted course of my vision? Because until I have a pattern, until I come out with a pattern, a certain trademark, a certain brand, nobody's going to follow me. Nobody's going to commit to the organization. Nobody's going to commit to what I am communicating. So the question I want to ask you, I hope you have your pens and papers. What does vision mean to you? You need to ask yourself that. What does vision mean to me? How would you define vision? What is the concept of vision to you? If you're going to be a great leader, you have to answer this question. You must know your definition of what does a vision mean to you. Well, I'm going to share some concepts with you about vision. To Dale Galloway, vision means a clear mental picture that leads people to reach out to the future. Dale Galloway is another strong leadership philosopher. And notice what he says, it is a clear mental picture that leads people to reach out to the future. They're reaching out towards the future to fulfill a possibility that they can't see. That is an amazing concept for vision. Miles Monroe says sight is the ability to see things as they are, but vision is the capacity to see things as they could be. I like what he says here. Vision is energy in progress. So notice, it is seeing what could be. It is seeing a possibility in the midst of limitation. That is a powerful quote by Miles Monroe. Because until you are able to see what can be, then you are not casting vision to others. And what you should see so far with these two definitions is that leaders must be full of faith, because faith is having hope in something that is not seen. That's what faith is. A firm conviction is being firmly persuaded in the heart that what you don't see is going to surely come to pass. So one of the hallmarks of every great leader is that they're always full of faith. They're always walking in the realm of the unseen, in the fourth dimension. And so it gives them a certain energy to see it fulfilled. And that's what made Jesus so powerful as a leader. He already knew that he was going to save the whole world in spite of his ops, what we call opposition, in spite of his ops against him, the Pharisees, the Sadducees, in spite of the Roman society against him. He saw that he was a savior of the whole world. He saw that his kingdom was higher than the kingdom of the devil. And that's what made his vision so great. Now, here's how I define it. You know, I got to put myself in there too. I define it in my book. Here's how I define it. Vision is a God-given vision. A God-given vision is a clear prophetic picture that God gives certain ones that have fully embraced their call and are in covenant partnership with him. That is a true God-given vision. And God does not give you the full ramification of that vision. He does not give you the clarity of that prophetic picture until you fully embrace your call. The call is the invitation given by God for you to fulfill vision. That's what the call means from the word kletos. The Greek word literally means invitation, an invite to a vision that's higher. So until you fully embrace your call or your assignment, and until you come into partnership with God, then he does not give you clear ramifications of that vision. Good to see you, Coach Desiree. Good to see you. Thank you for coming on. So this is what happens. A lot of people, they want God to give them a vision. They want God to give them a dream, but they are not secure in the call. They don't have a full embracing of the call of God on their life. And God would never give you a true vision until you fully embrace your call. And until you truly desire to be in covenant partnership with him, he will not give you a God-given vision that will last. Okay, so that covenant partnership means that you're going to do your part and you're expecting God to do the rest. He's going to do his part, of course, but he's expecting you to do your part. He wants to come into partnership with those who have their ears open to hear. Now, we're going to move forward. If you have any questions, feel free to share questions. Feel free to share questions. Okay. Also, if you want to book us, you can book us right there. There's information right there. If you want a screenshot, if you want to book us, if you want to donate today, feel free to donate. Of course, we're applying a biblical principle, Galatians chapter 6, verse 6. That's an important principle that you must take on as a great leader, because what you contribute to others, God is going to make happen for you. Okay. Now, watch this. In my book of chapter 2, I says, when I look at a vision, I define vision as the embodiment of goals. That's all vision is. It is the embodiment of goals. So vision is just that. It is the goals of the leader coming into manifestation. Until you have goals set, you will never have vision. Now, you cannot have vision unless you have a goal set. That's why it's important to learn to write down your goals, to learn to see what do you desire. What are the desired results that you want to see accomplished? And can you communicate them to others that will go along with you? Okay, so without goals, there is no vision. And here's why I said great leaders don't have their vision floating in their imagination, but they have the initiating ability within them to make the vision become a reality. Now, this is important because once you get the vision in you, once the vision is dropped in your subconscious mind or your spirit, can you initiate it? Can you take action on that vision? Because action brings influence. It is not talking. Action brings influence. Say, for example, you might have a vision to help single mothers. You want to see them successful. You want to see them make it. Okay, so that vision might be in your mind. And then here's the next question. What are you going to do about it? What is the next step to see that vision be translated into reality? You may have a vision to help a lot of men get back in alignment to their spiritual self, get back into alignment to their covenant with God. Okay, so that vision is in your mind, it's in your imagination. But what is the next step? How are you going to move that vision from your mind into the third dimension, into this reality here? Because until you take action on your vision, nobody will believe that you have a vision. Because the moment you have a vision, it should, watch this, it should motivate you to take action. So you have to use the initiative ability, the power of initiation to translate it. Good to see you. Take 9. Bless you, Coach BG. So I'm going to share another point with you. The second question you need to ask yourself is, do I have a God-given vision? Do I have a God-given vision? The first question, those who are getting on, is what does vision mean to me? The second question is, do I have a God-given vision? Guess what? If you don't have a God-given vision, you're called to follow. If you don't have a God-given vision, you need to center yourself in God to discover that vision. Because every person God has brought in the earth, he has imparted a vision to them. They are called to fulfill something. That is the purpose for potential. Potential is not for us to play with. Potential is for us to fulfill the God-given vision that we have received from God. Potentiality is God imparting his mind, his desire into your heart for you to fulfill a vision. So you need to center yourself back into the spirit to find your God-given vision. Because once you find your God-given vision, ching ching. Once you find your God-given vision, transformation. Once you find your God-given vision, you'll leave an impact in your society. You'll leave an impact in your generation. A God-given vision will cause you to be remembered in the earth for good. You won't be remembered as a problem creator. You will be remembered as a problem solver. So what is a God-given vision that God has given you? God does not want you to die a follower. I need someone to write that down. I'll show by my pen and paper. God does not want you to die a follower. Someone need to put that in the comment section. Yes. Thank you for that question. God does not want you to die a follower. I'm taking you back to that first statement in Matthew 4. Remember what Jesus says to his first disciples, the 12. He says, "Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men." He wanted leaders. The kingdom is about leadership. The kingdom, and that's the purpose for discipleship. Discipleship is the preparation for you to become a leader in your generation. Remember, Jesus does not want followers, he wants disciples. Disciple comes from the Greek word mathetes, where we get the word math from, or mathematics from, which means that Jesus wants systematic students. He wants students that know how to master numbers. Jesus always wants students, because if you can choose to be a student of leadership, you will become a great leader eventually. Thank you, Coach BG. Thank you, Marissa. Thank you for writing that. Yes, thank you, Coach Marissa. Everyone that's connected to me, I'm calling you coaches. I'm calling you coaches. Only coaches can be attracted to this type of masterclass. Okay. Now, the third question I want to ask you is, can I influence others to accomplish this vision? If God gave you a vision, can you influence others to help you accomplish that vision? See, once you recognize your vision, you will attract your destiny helpers. That's another principle. Once I recognize my vision, I will attract my destiny helpers. What good is it to want destiny helpers when you don't know your destiny, when you don't know your vision? Every great leader knows that if they can magnify the vision, destiny helpers will be attracted to them. As a matter of fact, God has a harvest of destiny helpers waiting for you to sow the seed of vision. Oh, I said a mouthful right there. I'm going to do it again. God has a harvest of destiny helpers waiting for you to sow the seed of vision. In other words, a harvest of destiny helpers cannot be attracted to you until you sow the seed of vision. You have to communicate the vision. So, are they willing to be influenced by you? Well, what if I share my vision and nobody hears me? What if I share my vision and nobody wants to follow me? What should I do? Who knows? Who knows if they would not follow you? Who knows if they might follow you? You will not know until you communicate the vision. Look at Noah. Noah's building the ark. He was rejected by many. He only saved 8, but he was recognized as a great leader in the Old Testament. Only 7 people beside himself, only 8 people of his family beside himself came in the ark. Everybody else drowned by the flood. But he was noted to be a great leader because he heard from God. He actually made the Faith Hall of Fame in Hebrews chapter 11 as well, because he heard from God. So that's the question. You got to be willing to step out there and see who's going to follow you. Now, Warren Blank, another leadership philosopher, says vision enables the leader to see into the future and to comprehend the big picture of possibilities. That's the power of vision. It's possible that it can manifest. So the leader never stays in a space of limitation. If I share this, will they laugh at me? Will they mock at me? That's a limited consciousness. A leader said, if I share this, it might be possible that others may be enrolled and help me accomplish the vision. See, it's about looking into the future. That's why it takes a certain prophetic hunch. Every great leader has a prophetic hunch about them. There's a prophetic spirit on every great leader because they see into the future. They see a possibility that can happen. They're piercing through it. So what do you see in your mind's eye? What possibility did you see that can happen, not just for yourself, but for others? Okay, if you see it, communicate it, take action on it, and you'll see it come to pass. Now, I want to share some things with you about prophetic leaders before I close. We thank everyone for coming on. Thank those for, okay, we have 2. Yeah, thank you for sowing the cash up. Those who are sowing that 1212, God bless you. Those who are sowing that 1212, God bless you. That is we're underwriting this session today with the 1212 seed, $12.12 seed. So thank you for showing that. Okay, now watch this. I'm going to share these 4 prophetic leadership principles with you because I believe that vision is going to be awakened in you. Not only do I believe vision is going to be awakened in you, I believe that today would be the start, the first day that you take action on that vision. Or if you started and you just left it alone, you started and you put it on the back burner in your subconscious mind. I believe today, if you take heed, if you listen closely to this teaching from this session, I believe that you're going to take your vision off that shelf, dust it off, and take action on it and manifest it. Because the way for you to get from point A to point B is by taking action. Don't be a zigzag leader. Don't be a circular leader. You got to be a straightforward leader. From point A to point B, you got to stay focused and take action on it. That's the only way that you're going to be a powerful being in the earth and translate your vision into reality is by simply taking action. So if you started something and you just left it alone, you got discouraged or something happened, listen, leave those excuses for the whiners. Jump into leadership because you are called to fulfill that vision. People are waiting for you to sow that seed of vision so they can help you. They can empower you to do greater things. Okay, so prophetic leaders can see what others can't because they are clear on their mental blueprint within them. So I want you to take some time alone with yourself and with God and get a clear mental blueprint of what you want to see accomplished. What is the clear? Some of you might be called to evangelize to about 300 souls. You might be called to evangelize to 20 souls. Some of you are probably called to, start a business that's going to help the less fortunate. I don't know what the mental blueprint that is bombarding your mind, but I want you to get into a space of meditation. Every great leader knows the power of meditation. They know the power of critical thinking. And so you got to find that clear mental blueprint and see what are the steps it's going to take for you to get from point A to point B. Really focus on that, because until you have a clear mental blueprint, you cannot chart the course. In my favorite book, the Bible, Paul puts it this way in 1 Corinthians 3. He said, as a wise master builder, I have laid the foundation. And the word master builder comes from two words, sophos, architecton, the root words, and it literally means as a sophisticated architect. So you are a mental architect. You are the narrative or the narrator of your story, but it's all in your mind. The mental blueprint determines how you're going to communicate and translate that vision. So if you can get to a space of meditation, strong enough focus as you think about that vision, guess what? Communication is going to happen. You're going to know how to articulate that vision. The second thing I want to share with you about prophetic leaders. Prophetic leaders become influential when they can display consistent action to a course not normally recognized by others. So you become influential when you can display a consistent course of action. Just a while ago, I challenged myself. I said, I'm going to pray 50 nights at midnight. I'm going to do it 50 times. When I just look back and I see that I've been accomplished that goal. I'm like on the 80th night for the midnight prayer. I can really stop right now because I set a goal that I'm going to do 50 midnight prayers with a group of people. So I went above and beyond because guess what? Every deadline produces a lifeline. That's why you need to write a goal with a deadline, because every deadline that you set for yourself, if you can accomplish that deadline, you can now create a lifeline. What do I mean by that? You can now create a better goal. You can do something new now. So now I'm doing another goal for midnight prayer. And so you want to set goals for yourself and be consistently accomplishing that goal. Okay. So when you have a consistent course of action, you're going to draw influence. Because remember what I told you, it is only action that gains influence. So if you're going to be a great leader, you have to be consistent in action concerning that vision, and people are going to enroll. Third thing I want to share with you about a prophetic leader. What makes one a prophetic leader? Prophetic leaders discern needs that others don't see and study on how to obtain it. Watch this, in order to be qualified to lead others forward. Now check this out. I am dealing with prophetic leadership. There's people that I know, and I know they hear the voice of God. They can prophesy. They can call your name out. They can call your number out. There's people that I know they can hear what God is saying. But the paradox is, can they hear the vision that God has given them to influence others? This is the distinction between a person that is a prophesier from a prophetic leader. Because a prophetic leader not only hears personal prophecies, a prophetic leader knows how to move a community. If you are truly prophetic, God will always give you a vision to move a community. If you look into the Old Testament, every major prophet, every minor prophet from the 12 prophets, which are the minor prophets from the four major prophets in the Old Testament, they were great leaders because they knew how to move communities and nations. So you need to know, what do people need in this moment? Study your market. Study your target audience. Hear the cries, hear the complaints of others, and study it, because people are always sharing their needs, and needs are opportunities for leaders. When a leader hears a need, that's an opportunity for them. But you got to study it. What do people need in this moment? Research it, study it, and then come with the remedy, come with the solution. And guess what? You will step up as a prophetic leader. So what have you discerned? What do people need? What did you see that I didn't see? What did you see that your supervisors are not seeing? What is something that you see? What is the need that you see in your family that you need to take? You need to take initiative and obtain and obtain a solution for your family, your organization, your business, your church to move into something greater. Okay, the fourth thing, this is important. Last thing is important. Prophetic leaders are aware that they are philosophers of human engineering and performance. Every prophetic leader, watch this, is a philosopher of human engineering. What do I mean by this? The word philosopher comes from two words, philos in Greek, which means love, Sophia, the Greek word for wisdom. A philosopher is a lover of wisdom. Philosophers, they seek to know how things work. They seek to know the laws of how things operate. So when we put philosopher of human engineering, that means that a leader is focused on mastering how men and women perform in life. They study some psychology. They study some therapy methods. They study some communication methods. They study some negotiation methods. They study groups. All right. So you have to be a philosopher of society. You have to be a philosopher of human engineering, and you have to know how to shift their performance. So if you're going to be a prophetic leader, you've got to know these two things: the art of human engineering and how to be creative in shifting their performance. Every prophet God always sent the prophet to mobilize his people, to shift their performance. If their performance was in a funk, God sent the prophet to deliver them out of a funky performance. So a prophetic leader is going to empower, inspire. They're going to communicate. They're going to say things that's going to get people to move, that's going to get people to be the best version of themselves. That's the power of prophetic leadership. It is sharing a vision, sharing something that will cause people to not play at a 2 in life, but play at a 10 in life. So when you follow what I share with you today about vision, and you really communicate that, some great things are going to happen for your organization. Some great things are going to happen for your church. Now, you might be an auxiliary leader. Well, your pastor is expecting you to do the best as a leader in that auxiliary. Your shepherd, watch this, is not expecting you to lead. There's so many people that I see in church, they say, well, I have outgrown the leader. And then when we ask them, well, what did they accomplish at that particular church? They say nothing. They were just listening. But if you truly outgrown a place, then you must have fruit. There must be fruit in the auxiliary that you're called to lead. If you truly outgrown it. If there's no fruit, you have not outgrown it. If there's no fruit, you just heard, you just listened, you just became a sponge, but you have not outgrown it. So if you are over an auxiliary, you want to play at a 10. Maximize, empower that auxiliary to be a powerful contribution to that church. If you're over a particular area, assignment at your job or in your career, you want to be excellent at it, maximize it, show that you have leadership potential. What is the vision that you see for that auxiliary? What is the vision that you see for the area that you're supervising? Because if you don't have vision, if you're just doing the mission and don't have vision, then it's going to cap you. It's going to limit you. So this is the power of prophetic leadership. Okay, so if you want us to come to your organization, like I told you before, I'm Winston Cooper, your leadership consultant. If you want us to come to your organization and share some strategies that will empower your team, I'm going to say that I might deal with this later on. Every leader has a great team. You can't do it by yourself. You can't be a lone ranger. Even lone ranger had told. So you need a team. But if you want us to empower your team, there's information right there. If you say that you are, some people don't believe in the fivefold ministry. If you say that you're apostle, prophet, you must have a prophetic team or an apostolic team, unless you're just an apostle in your mind or prophet in your mind. Because everyone that is in those realms, they have a team. There's a team that you're called to have. You have a business, you need a team. You can't do it by yourself. Without that team, you're missing something great. Okay, so we will come and we will empower and transform that organization. If you want to book us, if this is your type of philosophy, if this philosophy that I'm sharing with you is resonating with you, feel free to reach out to me. If you want to donate an appreciation seed, the 1212 is what we're doing. Go ahead and Cash App it or Zelle it, and we're going to pray over it. There is a leadership mantle that's going to be transferred to some of you. God is calling some of you to really move in leadership. I'm just going to be real. Not everyone's called to be a leader, but some of you are being inspired, and some of you are you are action oriented, and that is a sign that you have a heavy anointing of leadership on you. If you invite people, they're coming. Once you invite them, that is another evident sign that you're called to lead in some capacity. So feel free to sow. We go by the principle of Galatians chapter 6, verse 6. Paul tells the church of Galatia, the one who is taught the word of God is to share all good things with his teacher, contributing to his spiritual and material support. Like I said, sometimes I might not be a spiritual father, but I'm one of those 10,000 instructors. So feel free to sow. And we're going to come back next week if God says the same. I'm intending to come back next week and share another powerful session with you. I believe that this is your season to transform. In 2024, you're going to emerge as a great leader. You're going to lead your organization well and exceptionally. All right, I'll see you soon. Blessings. Before I close, are there any questions? I don't want to just close like that. Are there any questions? Are there any questions to those that are listening? I'm open to answer some questions the best way that I can. Are there any questions on leadership? Any questions on starting an organization? There was a question that was proposed last week. Someone said, what gave you this passion to lead? Well, I got my bachelor's. Once I got my bachelor's in leadership organization, that's when I knew that God was calling me to lead. I was really going to seminary for theology, but I decided to go into the leadership organization program. And once I went into that class, all these professors inspired me with certain references, and that inspired me to really be passionate about leadership. And I discovered another potential in me, and that was to lead. And so I've been really following the leadership model, leadership paradigms ever since, been a student of leadership ever since. Okay, so that's my desire. Okay, that's what arouses that desire, awaken that desire. All right, seems like there's no questions. All right, I'll be back on next Wednesday if God says the same, or probably earlier than that. Just never know. All right, see, have a good day. Be empowered this week and this weekend.